Hello, I'm David D. Cosmo. Welcome to ECTV Live. I'm joined by my co-host, Rusty Fender. Rusty, welcome back.
Good to see you, David.
Missed you last week.
Yeah, good to be back.
You had a wonderful trip, though.
Great. I've never been to Kansas before. What a great place it is, the land of Oz.
Ah, wonderful.
Thanks for checking the photos out, by the way.
Hey,
too.
really great stuff. If you're on Facebook, you can check Rusty Fender's page and get some great photos from some of his travels. Our guest today is Jocelyn Kramer, and Jocelyn represents an organization called SEEDS. We're here for a particular event that SEEDS is sponsoring, which is a book swap. And Jocelyn, let's begin with that. That's coming up where and when?
Hello. Thanks very much for having me. I appreciate
Glad
it,
to have
guys.
you.
And I'm really happy to spread the word about this annual free book swap that we've been doing for a few years now. It's coming up on Saturday, November 17th, and it's held at the Park Street Complex in Honesdale.
Okay.
And what we've done for the last 6 years is gather unloved or unused or dusty books that are sitting on the shelf that nobody wants and swapping them, giving them to other people who do want them. Because books should be loved and they should be shared.
And you don't have to be from Honesdale to participate in this.
All you have to do is get there that day. You can come from wherever you like. In fact, we encourage people to come and visit
books
Honesdale.
are in, once again.
And books are in.
Yeah.
The pendulum swings.
Indeed
Everything went
it does.
to audio books and DVDs, and now books are in again.
You're right.
Indeed
right.
it does.
Yeah, it's
Well, it's one of my favorite events every year because we fill this old auditorium with books and people looking for books, and you can bring in as many books as you have or as many books as you want to donate, and then you can take as many as you want, as many as you can carry. So there's a whole section for children's books only.
Okay.
And a lot of people bring brand new books, so there's books in really great condition. But the stage area where all the children's books are, the kids are all over it. Some of them are sitting in corners and reading the books and enjoying it, and most of them walk out with lots of them, which is exactly what we want to happen.
Do you have to bring a book to participate?
You absolutely don't. But you can bring hundreds of books and not take any home. It depends on what you need. SEEDS, my organization, is an organization that promotes renewable energy, energy efficiency, and sustainable living. And recycling and repurposing and reusing is such a big part of what we do in terms of sustainability. So if there's something you don't want in your home anymore, and believe me, people have books in the attic and books on shelves, right? And they can be donated to somebody else who does want them. It's a great event.
I'm laughing because, unrelated, I have a shed in my backyard. We had some water damage and we needed repairs. And the gentleman doing the repairs indicated he would take away anything that was damaged for us, which was green light to my wife to clean house.
Uh-oh.
And I'm more like you. I think I'm a saver.
Yes.
Not a
But
hoarder.
Only,
not
right,
exactly.
only certain things.
Okay.
There's a fine line between
But,
hoarding.
I was watching my little grandson that day, so I wasn't in a position to police everything. So I guess I'll find out over the next year or two
If
what's
you
gone.
need it, it's gone.
But the book idea is really good because I just got through reading a very interesting book, and but now I've read it.
Exactly.
And unless I have
Exactly.
a friend who has the same likes in terms of reading this, I like nonfiction. And unless I know someone who, in this case it's a military related book, unless I have someone that I know that would be very interested in that book is just going to sit.
That's right.
Until
Yep.
maybe in 5 or 6 years you suddenly have a time when there's nothing else to read and you think, well, let me look at that again. But
That's right.
That's sort of quite a waste.
It's a good recycle market. the
Exactly.
book. Like I'm not a big reader as far as those kind of. If I buy a book, it's going to be forever. Like the building of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Now,
Right.
there's probably only 3 people in the country that have that. I'm one of them. But it's like if I have it, I'm going to
And
keep
then
it.
you're
But
gonna
most
keep that.
people turn
That's
them
right.
over quickly.
That's right. And you spend money on it. Some people really like just a hard copy book.
yeah.
What I really like about the way the event is organized is when people donate books, they can do that in advance if they have a lot. They're all organized for people. So you can find military books, nonfiction, fiction, romance, cooking books, gardening, whatever your interest is. That way, the book that you donate could really, there stands a better chance of it finding somebody who really loves that,
sure.
that category
Sure.
or that kind of information. So it's really well laid out for everybody. And last year, we broke a bunch of records. We keep wondering, how many years can we do this? How many more books are there out there? This will be our 7th annual. And last year, we had 16,000 books donated to this event.
Wow.
And in one day, 9,000 books went out the door in the same day, in the hands of people who will read them and love them, and hopefully bring them back the next year when they're done with them, right?
Share them, sure.
Exactly. Now, there are some books that aren't in great condition, or they're not, that we're left with. And all of that gets shipped over to Better World Books. It's a global literacy program there in Indiana. So that's the biggest expense of the book swap, is just packaging and shipping all the extra books over to a global literacy
Books
program.
are very valuable. And back to what Dave was mentioning about the collector's market, books will always be available.
Yeah.
But it's that first print, first edition,
That's right.
hardcover edition in cold blood.
Yeah.
Truman Capote.
Yep.
$500 for a hardcover
Wow.
in fair condition. $500 fair. Buy it on Amazon for $5.95 paperback.
Wow.
But it's the original collector's edition.
Yeah.
Like anything, you
That's
want
right.
that first issue, first release.
Yep.
Very collectible items as
Yeah.
well, books.
Well, lots of great books. Because it's a free event, some people think, oh, the books just aren't in good shape, or they're not great books. But I personally donated a bunch of books last year that were signed by the authors. In my travels, I've read them. Now I'm passing them on. But I also gathered there were a bunch of them in really good condition that I liked. And so you have a little token, something as gift even for the holidays. Your post person, your kids' teachers. You know, I took home a bunch of books that I thought would be a nice gift idea for a couple people at work and that kind of thing. So it's a really nice event right around the holiday season time.
Yeah,
too.
the timing is perfect because, as
Yeah.
you say, some of those might be giftable items, not just that you want to pick them up to read
Exactly.
Especially the
yourself.
signed ones. I mean, regardless of the the height of the popularity of the artist, the signed anything.
That's right.
You know, people are into that.
Absolutely. And bread and in great condition. You know,
Sure.
perfect condition. So, yep.
Sure. The
Yep.
date and the hours again.
It's on Saturday, November 17, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 2 p.m. in Honesdale at the Park Street Complex. That's 648 Park Street. Park Street is also Route 6 that
I was
takes
just
you
gonna
from
say that.
Scranton and Carbondale
Okay.
right up straight into Honesdale.
If
In
I'm-
fact, you'll go right past it if you stay on Route
If
6.
I'm not mistaken, is it sort of opposite the hospital?
Exactly, Dave. It's right off the hospital.
So
And
just as
there's
you're
a-
coming into Honesdale, the
That's right.
hospital's on your left.
Right,
If you're coming
that's right.
in from the Scranton area, hospital's on your left, and this, I guess, is a former school?
This is that's right, a middle school. So the book swap takes place in its auditorium. So right before the hospital is this Park Street complex. And there's a big sign on the road right before the hospital.
Okay.
If you're looking for the sign, Park Street complex, you can't miss it.
And if you get to the bridge over the river, you've gone too
You've
far.
gone too
That's
far,
correct.
but you get to have a beautiful day tour.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Absolutely.
And people, oh, I'm sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go right ahead.
Well, we're encouraging anybody who has a lot to donate, and sometimes people have a lot of books. You can drop those books off Thursday night, all day Friday, and on our website, which is seedsgroup.net, you can find all the information about the book swap and who to contact if you have any interest in volunteering.
Yeah, and then if you do have a whole pile of books and can get them there early, it makes it easier for you to sort them in those various categories you want to do.
That makes it easier for our shoppers on the day of the event, sure.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And although you use the term shoppers, let's remind everybody this is not a paid type event.
Correct. It's free shopping. That's right. And when people ask me about the event, I always say these are the rules. Bring as many as you want. Take as many as you want.
Okay, and we're going to remind you before the end of the program about the date, the time, and the place.
Great.
But now I want to get into a little bit about the organization that has been doing this for 7 years, I believe you said now, or this is the 7th year. This is the SEEDS program. That's SEEDS.
That's right, Dave.
What is the SEEDS program?
So SEEDS is a nonprofit environmental education organization. My office is in Honesdale in the Cooperage building. We serve Wayne and Pike counties primarily, but we've been expanding into Lackawanna County a lot, which is why I'm excited to talk to you guys today. Our acronym is Sustainable Energy, Education, and Development Support.
All right.
So what we're doing, we are promoting energy efficiency. We're promoting renewable energy and sustainable living for a bunch of reasons, mostly to improve the health of our environment, to improve the health of our local economies, and to improve the health of ourselves.
All right. Now, how do you go about that? The book swap is an obvious thing because, as you say, the books are, they're paper products and they are reusable by virtue of sharing them with other people. But I'm sure that you go way beyond that in the course of a year with other projects. So give us some examples as to what they are and how they work.
Well, I think what Seeds is probably best known for throughout the region are our educational programs on renewable energy. We do a lot of solar workshops, Solar 101 workshops. My favorite event, we do this annually, is the Do-It-Yourself Solar Workshop. So not a lot of people are do-it-yourselfers, but the information is excellent. The do-it-yourself aspect allows you to, we teach people all about solar technology, how it works, and really most importantly, how much it costs.
Okay.
So,
because that's the big downside of solar energy in most people's mind is that, yes, I can put a gigantic panel on top of my house, but it costs me so much to put it there that it's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 years until I equalize the payment I'm
And myself doing a show on environmental energy for the last 6 years on 94.3 FM The Talker, we talk about this all the time. Our show is sponsored by the natural gas industry. It's not sustainable. And that's fine. And we're always angry because wind and solar gets 100% subsidization from the government, where natural gas gets nothing. So you hear about these folks about, about severance taxes and impact fees and things like that. There's a degree of conflict in there. The problem with wind and solar is it's very expensive, as you said, to put it in. It's even more expensive to store it. You can't store wind energy. That's the problem. Easily.
As it's produced, it's used.
Correct.
Basically.
See, exactly. And on a non-windy day, you have no energy. That's the problem with the sustainable energies. And I'm all for this project for wind and solar. The thing is, it's the storage, which natural gas, it's a little more unfriendly than wind and solar. There's no carbon footprint. But with natural gas, you get it from your local supplier as you need it. With wind and solar, you have to use it instantaneously. If not, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in storage batteries and cells and things like that. So there's a lot that goes with that. You're right. But
and this is a great thing about this program, and thank you for everybody talking about all different aspects of it and different kinds of energy.
Because people don't know. It's like, well, I think I'm going to put a solar panel on my house. You have to know what you're getting into on this deal.
It's true. When people call us about solar, I mean, sometimes they really don't know. So they'll say, I'm in a shady, wooded area. There's your first problem right there. But one of the exciting things about renewable energy is the innovation and what's on the cutting edge right now. Whatever our future energy is, it's going to be a portfolio, a balance of natural gas, of renewables. What will make renewables more accessible is storage, exactly like you say. And that's where all the innovation is right now. Where is it right now in terms of price? It's expensive. But like anything, once the demand increases, once the technology improves, costs will adjust.
And the education part comes in because you have to alert these folks that are going to buy, that they're standing in line buying solar panels. Their return on that isn't for 4 years.
It's longer. It's longer.
So
it's a lot longer.
I'm being conservative.
And there's different kinds of solar. There's solar that you can put on your roof. A lot of people are familiar with that because you see it on rooftops when you drive around. But there's community solar. There's larger farms of it, or there's ground mount solar when people have land use. And in some cases, that's a nice answer to farmers that don't have profitable crops anymore. There's options there.
Cooling is the key.
That's right.
Municipal water supply should be a municipal power supply.
Right, that's true.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that doesn't get all the attention, renewable energy, solar, that's exciting. Wind is exciting. It's interesting.
Exactly. It's interesting.
One of the things that doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion, is energy efficiency. And I feel like no matter where you are on this, we all know that the energy savings from energy efficiency is one of the best things for our region in terms of helping our local businesses. So energy efficiency is also also such a much bigger part of the energy solution than renewables, especially right now. But back to seeds, who we are and what we do. We're a small organization in northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm the only paid employee. I'm a part-time executive director. Everybody else is a volunteer, and they're contributing their time to this mission, which is great. And this is our 10th year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
So we do these free programs. We've taught students how to do energy assessments, give them some basic training in building science, how to walk through someone's home and tell them how to get better bang for their energy dollar.
What type of R-value
Sure.
installation.
Exactly,
you need.
exactly. And
and
some
it's
people don't even
amazing.
know what that is yet,
Exactly.
right?
It's an R factor. No one knows
that's
what that
right.
is. It's been around
Or
20 years.
they go, get that, it's cheaper, you know?
Exactly.
And energy
You
has...
get what you pay for.
That's right. That's exactly right. It goes out the window.
That's
You're
right.
needed.
And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, I either have solar energy or regular power coming in.
Right.
It can be combinations of
You're
things.
absolutely right,
You know,
Dave.
we have a front porch, and we have big screens on there in the summertime. But this time of year, my wife has put together these plastic covers that go over those screens. You get a sun coming down on a nice day, and that's a greenhouse in
Heats
there.
the room.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
I open the front door so
That's
that
exactly right.
the heat
Heats the
from there
house.
can go
So
into
it
the
heats the
house.
exactly.
Dave, you just gave the intro to some of our solar workshops because that's radiant solar energy. What's happening right now, have you guys heard of passive house building and passive house construction?
Yes.
So this is a new cycle. It's very common in Europe, but right now we are doing more to build buildings more efficiently. Passive house refers to a building standard. And a passive home built today, there's a great one right up here in Scranton, a passive home today will use 80 to 90% less energy than a conventional home. And it costs about upwards of 25% of conventional building. But again, as demand increases, those prices will drop.
They'll come down, yeah.
So things that make it's literally, you're creating an airtight building. So you're using triple pane windows, you're using super insulation. You're also using a ventilation system because it's an airtight building. It's
Yeah.
improving indoor air quality and the health of the people that live in the
I
building.
was just going to say, I remember the phase when they were putting up some of the new schools, and they were really into that energy efficiency, to the point that they had windows that didn't open.
Without
and
the
now you
ventilation.
All the time.
Now you had a room
Mold,
that-
mildew,
Yeah, so-
right?
You don't want windows that open.
Exactly.
You
Right.
learn as you go too.
Exactly. Well, this
Triple
home
pane windows with forced argon.
that's exactly, and low E, yeah, all of
Low E
this.
forced argon.
One of the things that's neat about if you're driving around, the one in Scranton in particular that I'm thinking of, when you drive around the hill section where it's all grid, right?
Right.
This one house is tipped this way because the first thing you do is you take advantage of the sun's
The
light
sun's,
and heat,
exactly.
right? And that doesn't cost anything.
Aim it toward
so
it.
things like that
Yeah,
really
yeah,
add to
right.
it. So if I say this all the time, but if I were starting out now all over again in school, I'd go into architecture or design because a lot of this innovation is really
bet.
interesting and
You bet.
exciting.
And
So-
it's a project that's developing even now.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You can,
Pardon
and you
me.
can retrofit a home for much better energy efficiency. And,
And
again,
the first thing to go is the water heating source. That's the biggest
Yep.
user in
Yep.
a house. You have a 30 or 40
Yep.
gallon Rudd water heater,
Next to your
gas
heating
or
and
electric,
cooling.
exactly.
Yep.
40 gallons being heated all the time.
Yep.
Now it's everything just like your streaming services for video. Now it's
Yep.
on demand.
well, one
Water
of the
as you need
things
it.
one of the things we like to talk about is most of your viewers are probably in the PPL service territory.
Yeah.
And PPL has been a great friend to Seeds in that they promote certain energy efficiency programs, and we work with them, and they've helped us promote our programs. If you're a PPL customer, you can register online and see your account. And if you want to save money on energy and you start doing things to do that, this really gets exciting and it snowballs, right? You start really finding ways to save money on energy. And you can log on to your PPL account online and track your energy savings to the degree that if you're away for a couple of days, you'll see your energy levels drop. You'll see them go back up. Water heating, they say, is the next, the biggest factor of energy consumption outside heating and cooling a home in our climate here in Pennsylvania. But if you want to start saving it, you can actually watch your success, which makes it a really great incentive to continue to save, I think, by using their PPL site.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's great, it's
And
fun.
as I say, the technology is developing all the. I've got a little portable radio at home, and it actually has. You can plug it into your computer and charge the battery. You can turn a
crank.
crank
Oh, yeah,
on it,
yeah.
twist it,
Yeah, that's
or you
rheostat.
can put it in the sunshine because it has a solar panel on
Isn't that
top,
amazing?
Okay,
which charges.
great.
this thing is, you know, yay big.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about whether I've got an AC outlet.
What you're saying is energy choices, right, Dave?
Yes, oh, exactly. Sure.
And technology choices. Remember the first calculators were this big.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now they have a battery that lasts longer than you will.
It lasts for,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's true.
Well, that's like the LED bulbs. Again, some of what we do isn't all that exciting, but LED bulbs.
But that was the best thing ever, getting rid of incandescent.
You're
ever.
absolutely
That
right.
was 80% heat and 20% light.
And you knew it because you could touch it, right?
Exactly
You
right.
could touch
Yeah.
that bulb
Yeah.
and you
That's
feel.
right.
And people would use those bulbs in a basement or a garage for the heat because mostly what they were producing is heat, right?
More than
well,
light,
the nice
yeah.
thing about
Absolutely.
me, I'm about 5 feet tall. So if I have to climb a ladder to change a light bulb, you know it's going to be an LED bulb, so I don't have to change it again in 20 years.
That's right.
But things like school districts are reporting significant savings from lighting efficiency upgrades, not just because of the energy costs decreasing, but the cost, janitorial costs, staff costs, changing light bulbs. When you have enormous corridors of those T8 and T12 bulbs, and you're not having to change them all the time, what the studies on what that's cut down on janitorial staff time changing those bulbs.
I got to tell you, in 1998, I did my entire ranch house, the entire ranch home in Duryea with the brand new at the time, state-of-the-art LED light bulbs.
Okay.
General Electric was the only one that made them.
Yep.
And Sylvania got in on the deal, and
Yep.
now everybody makes them. To get one of those, it was supposed to last 12 years at the time, now they last 20. 12 years, I took every incandescent light out and put these new with like the prongs in.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen those.
Yep.
And at that time, in 1998, it cost $39.99 for a
those
bulb.
bulbs. Yep.
And people said, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "You're not going to stop making these. They're going to make these bulbs for at least
Yeah.
another 12 years." I said, "Well, I wanted to be the first to see what the deal is with this." And there was a big saving. But $39.90, and I bought
Yeah.
like 100 and some bulbs
Oh, my
for
word.
all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now there's a pack of 6 for $8.
Yeah,
So like you said about anything that you buy more
Yeah.
The
will
cost-
certainly come down in price. It's amazing. In just 20 years. To the
this is
day.
exactly what's going to happen to the battery issues too that you brought up
Right.
earlier. It's a great example. How was your energy savings when you put those bulbs in?
A lot. I don't use a lot of energy because I'm usually not home anyway, but it's a lot, and they certainly
Yeah.
lasted longer than the 12 years they were supposed
Yep.
to in light demand. As
Yep.
if we all know, if a bulb is left on, it'll last 24 years.
Yeah,
It's the
that's right.
It's the turning on and off. Even when an LED or LCD will limit and definitely limit the life
Yep.
of the item.
Yep.
But it's like way down, I would say,
Yep.
and certainly the heat element and the discoloration of everything around the heat
Yeah.
from these light bulbs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what does a lot of damage you can't see in
There's
your
a lot of
house.
research that shows that people won't spend the money or take the time to do
Right.
little inexpensive things because they don't believe in the energy
That's right.
savings. We see that a lot. So we love the stories when people say, you know, I did this and these are the energy savings I saw. We have a friend who has a dental office, and they changed all of their outdoor perimeter parking lights to the upgraded LED floods, saved their electric bill in half.
Wow.
Oh, no doubt.
But they were on all the time, right?
Right.
But that's real money.
Right.
That's real savings.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's different for everybody. One of the things that we do at Seeds is we recognize every year at our chamber dinner we give a green business award, because certainly customers care more and more about what are your green business practices. They want to know. So we like to really applaud people who are doing the right thing, and then it gives other people ideas.
Sure.
Things even just like this book swap. People that were that attend these things go, wait a minute, I got our office has books. They're textbooks, and people need them, and they'll donate them. And the more you get the word out, or the more you share the example of what somebody else has done and tried,
Yeah.
now I'll try it. Well, if you went out and switched out all your LED bulbs,
Well, I'm
and you
rare
saved the
too. I
money.
have
and-
$3,000 to
Yeah.
spend on light bulbs. That's not a common place.
There's not a
But
lot
let
of
me-
stories
Let me
like
ask you a
that.
question, Dave.
Sure.
This is a good tie-in. How do you feel about this? Because as an electrical engineer,
Yep.
I know the answer to this, and it's very tough to persuade people to believe this. But I laugh all the time when I go by all these supermarkets and department stores at night, and they leave every single light burning
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
think it's not more efficient.
Yeah.
If you're out of a room
Yeah, you're
or
absolutely right.
longer than 30 minutes,
Yep.
turn the lights off.
Yep.
There's this crazy rumor about 15 years ago that, oh my gosh, as soon as you turn the lights on at a Walmart or a Kmart, it jumps the cycle and turns the meter, and you get. It's a total
Yeah.
fallacy.
Yeah.
I see these hundreds of strings of lights on in supermarkets and closed department stores and malls.
Yep.
they're just burning more energy.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I see it all the time, and it frustrates me on one level, and then I think of the money that they're spending, and as a customer, I'm paying for that.
That's right.
On some level.
Better believe it.
So now what the trend is, and you probably know, we've got all these occupancy sensors or vacancy sensors, they're calling
Sure.
them now, OC sensors.
All motion infrared.
So exactly,
Yeah.
and PPL offers a lot of rebates on these things, both for residential and commercial. It's all on their website, including their subsidizing LED bulbs right at the big box stores, right? But right now, I know schools that have actually revamped their auditoriums, because most schools who have a big auditorium space, yeah, they have games and they use the whole space sometimes, but because of classroom demand, sometimes they'll just use a part of the big auditorium for a classroom. Have you ever seen that? Or
Yeah,
you know the
sure.
kids,
Definitely,
right?
like subdivided.
So now-
one area is on your motion
That's
sensors.
exactly.
Yeah.
So now they've got the OC sensors there. So if the kids are only in this part of the auditorium,
light that
only
part.
that's
Sure.
lit. So the kids will take a basketball down the floor and the lights pop on as they go. But you know what's happening? This is all skipping a generation. These because the school districts are starting to be a lot wiser with their energy dollars, the kids get introduced to energy efficiency in a way that my generation and our generation really wasn't,
Sure.
right? So it's really neat. That's their expectation. They don't expect to see the light on all night.
They did it at the marketplace at Steamtown. Dave, you probably noticed that.
Yeah,
When you drive
yeah.
down an aisle at the marketplace at Steamtown, you can see the lights go on, meaning there
Perfect.
wasn't a car there for about 10, 15 minutes before that, and that
Exactly.
saved a lot of
Yeah.
money for them.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Even and my mom and dad tell a funny story where typically if somebody's running in behind you and you walk into a building and you hold the door open for them, we're now changing our behavior. We're coming in the door, we're standing there, we're closing the door,
Sure.
we're waiting. When you get close to the door, we open the door for them. Little things like that.
And you
know?
couple that with development of things, and you're really going to get tremendous savings in the future. And the prime example there, I think, would be batteries. You go from the old ever-ready
Oh, the D-cell.
D-cell.
Remember the D-cells?
Yes.
and now you're using lithium batteries.
Which are this big, that run
Yeah.
at 24
That's right.
hours in constant
Sure,
service.
sure.
It's
That's right.
amazing.
I mean, electric cars, although they're not in general use, they are reality now.
That's right.
Yeah, I drove one over
absolutely
here.
right. Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Well, it's a hybrid. It's a Ford.
I have a hybrid. I'm
a
halfway
Ford
there.
What are you
We're halfway.
driving?
That's a Fiat.
A Fiat, and I have a
Halfway
Ford
there,
C-Max with a plug-in. So
You stop at the New York Welcome Center on 81,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things you'll find is a whole little section of charging
Charging
stations
stations.
for
Yep.
about 5
Yep.
parking
Yeah.
spaces there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these things are coming. They're not going to happen overnight.
That's
No,
right.
they're not.
But
That's right.
they will eventually happen. Well, it sounds like it's a very, very worthwhile program that certainly people ought to be taking advantage of to save themselves some money.
yeah, absolutely.
But as we're closing, let's one final reminder on the book swap, which Seeds is sponsoring. So
Mm-hmm.
once again, that's coming up.
It's Seeds is sponsoring this with Nature Ed, and we want to thank the Wayne County Bar Association for being our lead sponsor again. This is on Saturday, November 17th from 9 to 2 at the Park Street Complex in Holmesdale, 648 Park Street.
And you're very well informed on energy technology too, Jocelyn.
I love
Very
the
well.
stuff.
Yeah.
I love the stuff.
It
Yep.
shows. It
One,
shows.
one more thing before you go then. If people are interested in specific information about the book swap or about any of the programs you offer, how do they get a hold of you?
So please reach out to us through our website, seedsgroup.net, and our office phone number is there as well. We have a really exciting plan for a 2019 NEPA Green Fair right here in Naog Park.
Oh.
And Seeds is working with the Greenhouse Project of Scranton, because we have lots of mission overlap, for a really fun festival, NEPA
Let me
Green
know about
Fair.
it in advance and
April
we'll have you back in.
27th. Yeah, please,
All right.
please do, David. I'd love
Okay,
to
we'll
talk
be-
to you
we'll do
more
a whole
about
show
it.
just on
It'll
that.
be a big
Thank-
event right here in Naog Park.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for joining
Jocelyn.
Thank you
us.
both. I really enjoyed
And
it.
Rusty, thank you.
Thanks,
Good to
David. See you
back
next week.
again.
Thank
Mark,
you, Dave.
Thanks for keeping
Thanks,
us in
Mark.
focus. Mark McGlory, our cameraman, director, and he cook and bottle washer here at the ECTV. I'm David DeCosmo for ECTV Live. Until we see you again next week, here's hoping all your news is good.